And feeling your emotions are a big part of you creating the big successful life you desire. And if you have emotional blocks, whether it's conscious or subconscious, you will hold yourself back. There will be self-sabotage. And Earth is the great game board. You know, one of my teachers calls this Earth School. And how many people have noticed that Earth has been hard lately? After COVID-19, a lot of people making up stories about blame and victim consciousness. And then there are those who are succeeding and thriving in this economy. And those are the ones that are succeeding and thriving are emotionally fit people. They're the ones that can take the pain and transform it into ease, or the grief and transform it into joy, or the fear and transform it into faithful actions. So there are those who are moving downscale the emotional scale of harmonics, and there are those who are moving upscale the emotional scale of harmonics. And each one of us are always moving in one direction, down or up. And there are multiple octaves of consciousness to this scale. So welcome, Kathy, Susan, Bradford, Ken, Master Ken from Lafayette. Woo! Top realtor in Lafayette. I'm going to give a shout out to Master Kenneth, Alex, Diana, Susan. This class, I'm going to be like a fire hose today. I'm going to tell my story a little bit. I'm going to teach a lot. There is going to be some prayers and affirmations that we will use together as a group. This will be a little interactive. There's so much more available to us as spiritual beings when we become emotionally intelligent. There's so much more feeling to experience. There's so much more joy and fulfillment and purpose. And yet every level has its devil. We live in this thing called Earth, and Earth is in a field of polarity. Remember, we have positive pole, negative pole. We have yin and yang. We have love and hate. And sometimes we can't know love until we know hate. Sometimes we can't know joy until we know grief. And this is the paradox of polarity. This is every one of us gets to walk this path and master the scale of emotions if we're going to be successful and fulfilled, period. Every one of us. And it's nice to have a system. Like, it's nice to have, some tools in your tool belt. When you think about building a house, and you're putting the frames together, and you've got a ball peen hammer and you've got Big Bertha, and you've got this big, 4-foot frame, and it's like, it's off. Do you go get the ball peen hammer to move the frame into place? No, you go get Big Bertha. You get the sledgehammer and you go tunk, tunk, and then done. Whereas if you've got a ball peen hammer, you got pounding that thing. It's nice to have some tools, and the right tools at the right time can create so much grace, ease, and lightness in our business. And yet most of us haven't really learned how to feel our feelings, or how to identify what we feel, and how that relates to success in life and business. And it's so funny, this is like the next quantum leap of humanity. It's heart intelligence coupled with emotional intelligence. The reason we don't have the life and the community and the earth that we all can see is because we're not emotionally intelligent enough. As a society, we're not heart intelligent enough. And so this information is for success in business, and it's also for the conscious evolution of humanity. Because as we become emotionally intelligent, as we learn to transform emotion into motion and become heart intelligent, we can heal all the pain and suffering we see outside of us, inside of us. And you become the change you wish to see in your world. So guess who gets to do it first? You and me. We all get to do this first. So Knolly, are we live on YouTube?
Yeah, we're live, man. We've been live.
Awesome.
We're up and running, and man, it's going to be a great class. This is good stuff. I'm excited. I'm excited to learn.
Yeah. Knolly's. I love Knolly, how good of a student he is, how very teachable he is, and how much more teachable we are all becoming together. Because, in the great book Illusions by Richard Bach, he says that learning is remembering what you already know, doing is demonstrating that you know it, and teaching is reminding others they know it just as well as you. So we're all learners, doers, and teachers on this call. Yeah. I'm just putting on my teaching hat today. Now I am qualified to teach this material after 20 years, reversing many major diseases, healing my own emotional body. I'll start with my story. Um, I was raised a single mother family. My dad left my mom. They split up in anger, hate, and resentment. My mom was codependent towards men. And I grew up in a family of extreme poverty and fear of lack. Now I'm an entrepreneur with 5 streams of income, and Knolly and I are taking over the world. But my childhood was the exact antithesis of who I am as a man and a father today. And it's, I believe that emotions were hard. I didn't want to feel my feelings. And so I would contract my emotions. And I believe the world was a harsh place, so I contracted what I felt. And as a result of that, I began to store traumas in my body. Traumas of separation, traumas of emotional abuse, physical abuse, anxiety and fear became commonplace. Depression and drug use was a common part of my life. From age 16 to 25, I was a chronic drug user. Not many people know this about me. And it was my capacity to feel my feelings, love what I feel, and heal. I feel, I heal. Maybe a connection there. I feel, I heal. And we're all healers, healing something. And trauma is quite common in our culture today. I mean, think about it. Like, if you study anything about midwives and birthing, I birthed both my children at home with two midwives and a doula. My children were born in a loving container, free of vaccines and drugs, in a safe and secure environment, surrounded by the Holy Spirit, prayer, and love and water. And I literally am rewriting my life through emotional intelligence. I'm revising, reseeing, renouncing, renaming, reversing, resaying every pattern that I was born with here now in my life. And you can do this too. Wherever you came from, you are not defined by your past. You are defined by your capacity to grow in emotional intelligence and take these energies we call emotion and transform them through emotional intelligence, emotional fitness, and emotional alchemy. My father was a con artist. My dad died in the penitentiary when I was 30 of liver cancer under the property of the federal government. And I remember being, the last time I saw my dad alive, he was, full of cancer, sitting in a hospital bed with an armed guard, and I'm just weeping. And all I could do was feel my feelings. And I'm just like, I'm praying over his body and just loving on him, my family surrounding me. And so, like, why am I telling you these stories is because I have experienced the darkest of the dark and the lightest of the light. And if it wasn't for my emotional intelligence, I would not be the man and the father I am today, period. This is one of the most important things you will learn in your life is the scale of emotional harmonics and how to move up scale. And it has everything to do with money. And it has everything to do with your success. It has everything to do with your service to God and how you want to live and thrive. Remember that you are wired to survive. Thriving is a choice. So you can stay in fear or you can take faithful actions. It's okay to be in fear. Fear is just right above grief and right below anger. You are wired to survive. Thriving is a choice. And if you're going to choose to thrive in life and business, you need to know where you are on the emotional scale and how to keep growing. And there are octaves of these emotions. And you are going to be able to, with tools, remember you got your hammer or Bertha. I like Bertha. Let's use Big Bertha to move these feelings and these patterns. And I have moved so much. I'm at a place in my development spiritually where I am what I desire to see in my world. I rise up in my clarity, confidence, and victory. And I vote victory to all my students and all of those I work around with. I become like a living flame to ignite the Christ in y'all because I've ignited it in me first. And emotions are like a fire. And if we're talking about wealth dynamics, you have introvert and extrovert. You have thinking dynamic, dynamo tempo, and you have feeling dynamic, which is steel and blaze. So for the steel geniuses in the call, you're left brain dominant. So it's going to be difficult as an introvert to express what you feel out loud. So the introverts need to be writing their feelings down and working with a coach to help them identify and express their emotions. The blaze is the extroverts are more right brain dominant, which is the emotional side of our brain. And their emotions can be all over the place. You think of a fire burning out of control. Whereas steel, think of metal, a box, and you're inside your little box and you don't want to leave it. So each type of genius has different ways of cultivating emotional intelligence. And yet we all need a system. We need a way of looking at things, an archetypal system, so we can understand what we're feeling. Remember, until we understand the archetypes of life, we have all this information out there in the internet and no fundamental way of understanding what we're looking at. So the emotional scale of harmonics is an archetype. It is a simple system for you to understand where you are in consciousness and feelings and how to transform it. And this comes from the book Conscious Language. So I'm gonna highlight this book, and I created a slide deck presentation because slides are so much fun to teach with because it can take my face and personality off of it and just put it into a slide. So let's do a little screen share and
Hey,
jump in.
Artemis,
Yeah,
as you get into that, the other thing about your dad was he spoke multiple languages, right?
yeah. My dad had a PhD in law and chemistry and spoke half a dozen languages. He's a brilliant man, but his
A
emotional
PhD,
blocks is what.
wait. A PhD in law and chemistry, and he
Yeah,
spoke 6 languages.
half a dozen languages. Yeah, my dad was my first teacher of metaphysics, and at age 13.
Yeah.
So I was reading college level books on spirituality and metaphysics when I was 13.
Yeah, and so it's so important for us all to understand that, you can take your superpowers, your gifts, and use them any which way. You could be a con artist, you could be someone that doesn't understand the meaning of life and use them that way, or you can be someone that really deeply understands, because you could have gone that path. I've got family members that are shysters as well. And I could have easily gone that path, but knowing what we know now, it is impossible to go down that road. So just everybody, I appreciate you sharing your story. It's quite incredible how far you've come.
Yeah, yeah. Not everyone is required to develop emotional intelligence to go through life. You can just drift your whole life and die. But
Yeah.
those who choose this path will go through the darkest of the dark to get to the lightest of the light. And then through that mastery, there will be such a level of joy and fulfillment attained through understanding this stuff, and it's important that and I'm glad you brought it up because about my dad not really, having all this genius and this skill, but not being able to direct it into a successful, happy life because he had blocks along the way.
Mhm.
That and they say in scripture, the sins of our ancestors are visited upon 4 generations. And so the children can keep reliving these emotional patterns, these belief systems, or they can resurrect them. And I was just, by the grace of God and by the grace of my life, I am resurrecting them in me
Yeah.
and in my children. So I'm breaking the pattern, and it takes awareness. Like, remember, if you are choosing to be consciousness denotes awareness, and awareness means even the things you don't want to look at,
Yeah.
even the things you don't want to feel, even the things you don't want to talk about. um, and this is why we need systems and teachers and mentors around emotional intelligence, and this is the next quantum leap for humanity. Like,
Yeah.
this is going to help you in business for sure. This is
Let
where
me
we all get to go. We all get to go this direction.
before you really kick it off, I've got 1 minute. I'm going to make some quick announcements.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to thank Bradford Page. Bradford's been he's been an integral part of Knowledge Success Coaching, and he just sent me this week a really nice thank you card for our contribution that we have right here at Knowledge Success Coaching. And he also sent me this beautiful pen. Thank you, Bradford. I see you there. And this is actually crafted from the olive wood in Bethlehem. This pen is. So it's got a cross on it and it's got a scripture. So we really appreciate this from you, Bradford. So I may or may not share this with Artemis, but I really appreciate it. So thank you so much. Another thing I want to mention is if you guys have a comment, please put it in the chat. We're eager to hear your chat comments. I already see a chat from Alex. and Alex has a kind of a lengthy question about some blocks and things like this. These are the kind of things that we highly recommend that you reach out to Arttemis on the side or through the Facebook group, and let us help you with these issues as well as we can. The other thing I want to mention, last thing, is that remember that Knolly Success Coaching, we're excited, we love doing this, is sponsored by Mentorship Masters. And Mentorship Masters is our real estate coaching group that's completely different. We coach only on real estate and getting you successful there. So if you have any questions about Mentorship Masters, how it works, or becoming a member, reach out to Arttemis and he'll be happy to share more about that with you. So with that in mind, Arttemis, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Excellent. Yeah, thanks for those announcements. I forgot about the announcements. I need to make a mental sticky note. So also, if you're watching this on YouTube and you're brand new to Knolly Success Coaching, go to knolly.com and opt in to receive all our emails and updates for when we're going to be teaching and training at knolly.com. So let's dive in, and also please share this information. If you know people who are seeking to grow in life and business, and they need two powerful mentors like Knolly and I in their life, share our Facebook group, share Knolly's YouTube channel, share this video, and get this information out there, because I'm super passionate about this. I'm super passionate about the bridge of spirituality and business. It's like, when we look at the ancient teachings thousands of years ago, science and spirituality and business were not separate. They were all one. And so it's time to bring these beautiful systems back together again, spirituality and business and science and physics, and they're all like coming together. And we need embodied teachers who embody their teachings, leading the way, sharing this information to usher in our next golden age. And the earth has been here for 4.5 billion years. And there have been many civilizations on this planet way before this modern age that have existed differently than what we see today. And I believe that we are entering the 7th golden age of peace and enlightenment. And it's through the combination of spirituality and business. And Knolly and I are using real estate as a vehicle. And it's a wonderful vehicle because it's a wonderful way to create wealth and purpose and connection and community. And there are many, many different leaders on the planet doing this right now. And becoming emotionally intelligent is a journey, not a destination. We are all at different levels here, and we are all growing up levels in this path. And so I created this class as kind of a master class of understanding your emotions and how to become more emotionally intelligent through the scale of emotional harmonics. And then some things you can do right now in your business to overcome apathy and fear. Because in the scale of emotions, apathy and fear are two of the biggest blocks that are holding us back from success. So I'm going to give you some tools there to transform. And I see your chat there, Alex. Just reach out to me privately on Facebook, and I got your back, brother. Remember, the call compels the answer. If you have a call, make the call, and the answer will come. Let's get started. All right. Going to File, View, Present. How to eliminate every emotional block to success through the scale of emotional harmonics. This level of skill is key to mastering your success and influence in business. Shout out to Bob Stevens, one of my greatest coaches on the planet, and Mastery Systems University, Conscious Language. Read chapter 1 of Conscious Language, and then skip forward to page 148, where he basically unpacks the scale of emotions and their word patterns. These things I will not be teaching today. So if you want to do a little deeper dive, what is conscious language? It is the path of speaking what you choose to have come into your reality, moment to moment, with deep feeling and alignment in your heart. Now, remember I said at the beginning of class that if your feeling doesn't follow your goal, you will not achieve your goal. If you do not believe in what you are saying, and if you do not believe in what you are going for, then you will not achieve whatever the mind of a man or woman can believe and conceive, they can achieve. And it's the conceiving and the believing. Book of Job, chapter 22, thou shalt also decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee, and the light shall shine upon your ways. So this is about using the power of the spoken word, conscious language, to move energy in our body. Thou shalt decree a thing and it shall be established unto you. And the light, what is the light? The light is in your words. The light is in your feelings. The light is in your actions. And the light shall shine upon your ways. Your words are cups of light. When spoken with the power I am that I am, your words can transform feelings and build positive feelings in your life and business. We live in a very well organized universe. The Bible is a book of laws. So it's nice to look at the Bible and some of these scriptures as just states of consciousness. It's not about religion, religions. It's like religion sucks, but God is beautiful in his laws of creation. And the best way we can cultivate a relationship with God is to first cultivate a relationship to his laws, and to look at the Bible as a book of laws, as a state of consciousness. And your words can impact your will. And alignment with your word and your will and your feelings creates miracles in your life and business. Benefits of mastering the scale of emotional harmonics. The number one benefit is intuition. A clean emotional body helps you connect to higher dimensions of consciousness: physical, astral, causal, mental, etheric, and soul. We exist at 5 dimensions of consciousness. And what we see with our 5 senses is only 1% of our reality. And as you become more emotionally intelligent and emotionally fit and emotionally clear, you can access intuition, higher dimensions of consciousness, and you can know what to do in every moment through emotional intelligence. You also will create joy. You will be able to become non-attached to things and people around you, because you start to channel and direct your emotions instead of being victim to your emotions. You will build presence in your life. As you start to let go and clear the feelings of fear and doubt and anger and shame and guilt, you'll become fully present. And in that presence, you will know intuition and joy. You will have clarity in your life and business by learning the emotional scale. You'll become clearer. Confusion will transform into clarity. You will also be able to enhance your focus. And all of this is enhanced through mastering the scale of emotional harmonics. I'm going to go through 3 principles. These principles are really key to understand first. Even before we start teaching the scale of emotions, I have to teach the hidden stuff. First principle is self-acceptance. Learn to love and accept who you are just as you are, and love and accept all the aspects of your mind, body, and business. Self-acceptance is the master key. There's nothing to fix in your emotions at first. The first thing to do is to actually feel them and accept them as they are. So everyone place a hand over your heart and stomach. Anything below the heart is where we feel a lot of our emotional blocks. So the body is your vehicle of emotional mastery and intelligence. I want you to touch your heart and touch your solar plexus. Some of you may be feeling tension right there in your body right now because Arttemis is talking about your feelings. Like, oh, let's not talk about emotions today. We're going to talk about emotions today. Place a hand on your heart, place a hand on your solar plexus. Some of us have emotions coming up right now as I talk about these things. And repeat after me with deep feeling and alignment in your heart. Just say, I deeply love and accept myself. I can feel my feelings. Say that with me. I can feel my feelings. I can love what I feel. And notice how those words land in your heart and your solar plexus. Say with me, I deeply love and accept myself. I can feel my feelings. I can love what I feel. So if you're ever feeling stuck anywhere in your life and business, you use these words out loud. And these words actually come from Louise Hay, from Hay House Publishing. Her first book, 25, 30 years ago, How to Heal Your Life. Of all the different patterns she observed in consciousness, in her movie, You Can Heal Your Life, Louise Hay was being interviewed, and they asked Louise, what's the most powerful affirmation? Now here's the queen of affirmations, teaching the world after 30 years of helping hundreds of thousands of people transform their consciousness. She told us in the film that the most powerful thing she's learned is I deeply love and accept myself just the way I am. So self-acceptance comes concurrently with emotional intelligence and moving upscale in the emotions. You get to practice this. This is something that you will get better at. And sometimes you have to slow down and feel your feelings before you can speed up in your business. And if you hate what you feel, how many people have hated what they felt? How many people suppressed what they felt because it was hard? How many people don't want to feel and they just want to stay in their intellect? Steel geniuses like to do that. Knolly's raising his hand. How many people would rather just stay in their intellect and talk about it and philosophize about the meaning of life instead of touching and staying and accepting what they feel and just feeling? And so that's why some steel geniuses and blaze geniuses and all geniuses need a coach. We need someone to hold us accountable to our emotions and
Sherry,
touch.
Artemis, let,
Yeah,
let me just throw out that Sherry brought up a good point. She says, this is way deeper than I feel I can accomplish at this point. How do I take a baby step into the pool of emotions? And we're kind of recommending letting go. But another thing I thought of was, those of you that are thinking, man, this is really, really, really deep. It's only deep to your conscious mind. Your subconscious mind understands every single thing that Artemis is teaching. It's just the conscious mind that's like, wait, this is too deep for me. But just allow yourself to tune in and allow it to absorb into your subconscious, because your subconscious mind understands what is being taught here.
yeah, that's a great point, Nolly. And I'm going deep for a reason, because these are golden keys of transformation for your life and business. Like, no one ever taught you this shit. It's time for you to learn it. I mean, come on, people. Wake up. Wake up. It's time for you to know this stuff, because if you don't like where you are in your life, this stuff will save your life and business when you practice it, when you learn it. And I'm going to give you some practical stuff too. First principle, self-acceptance is the master key. Learn to love and accept all aspects of yourself until you become whole. And we all can become whole. We don't have to be fragmented, wounded, traumatized. I told you my story at the beginning of the call because all of this is possible in me and in you right here, right now. Stay open-minded, stay open-hearted. Listen to these words, and Nolly's correct. Your subconscious mind knows exactly how to heal you. The reason you're watching this material right now is because your subconscious mind called you here to receive this information. It's time. Or Artemis just texted you and said, get your butt in class. I texted half a dozen of our teammates. It's like, get your butt in class. You're going to learn this stuff. Second principle, cultivate witness consciousness. Become the observer and the participant of your emotions in your life and business. After self-acceptance, witness consciousness is the second most important skill you will develop and master through the emotional scale. So let's demonstrate what this is like. So I want everyone to take your right hand and tap on the top of your left hand. Take your right hand and tap on top of your left hand. Now notice the sensation of your fingers touching the palm of your hand, and just kind of get into that sensation. Become aware of that sensation. Now think of who is doing the tapping. Who am I tapping my hand right here, right now? Witness the I tapping the hand. And now you're in witness consciousness. So witness consciousness is very easy to attain in this exercise. As you tap yourself, you can stop tapping now. Where the rubber meets the road is noticing that, hey, I don't have enough money in my bank account, or I fear rejection, or like I'm doing all this lead generation, but nothing's happening in my business, and the emotions come up from these parts of our life. Can you maintain witness consciousness in those states? Can you become aware of what you're feeling when you're on that prospecting call and you hang up the phone, you go, wait a minute, there was fear in my voice or doubt in that call. I'm not going to get that deal until I bring the energy of faith and trust and confidence into that next call. This is very practical, guys. This is very practical stuff. Witness consciousness. Be the observer and the participant of your lead generation. And just know that if you've got blocks, you need to build a brand identity, a vision board. You need to rise up into yourself and be confident and faithful and take faithful actions through your branding, through your mentoring, through books and audios every day. You will grow in your witness consciousness as you grow in your life and business. The paradox of emotions. Okay, now I'm going cosmic, guys. You thought I was going deep in the beginning. But no, now we're going deep. The paradox of emotions is that you are pure awareness. You are not your thoughts and emotions. You use your thoughts and emotions to guide and direct your creations in this reality. So you are not your emotions, you use them. And they're a very important part of your success because you need desire, you need to have feeling, but don't identify with them. Meditate every day, 10 minutes a day. Breathe every day, 10 minutes a day. Silence is golden because we need, as entrepreneurs, we need to be cultivating silence and mindlessness. We need to get out of our heads for a little while and then get into our feelings. And then know that through awareness, through witness consciousness and awareness, we can heal anything just through awareness. So keep this in mind. It's a paradox, but I have to bring this into, because a lot of people, they'll get into like woundology, like, oh, I've had this wound and I've been an addict and I've gone to AA for 20 years and I've got this problem and I'm permanently stained. No, that's all bullshit. You are awareness. You are the observer and the participant. And in the awareness, you are one with God and the mind of God. And in the expression of emotion, you may have some things to clean up. And you want to continually fall back on your spiritual practice of prayer, meditation, and use awareness to grow in your business. Use awareness to heal your thoughts and feelings. Just don't identify with them. Don't become the story. Third principle, master your breath. Everyone take a deep breath in. Control your breath, and you can control your life. Learn to control and direct your breath, breathing below the solar plexus. Create a morning breathing exercise while touching the heart. Silence is golden. So principle number 1 is self-acceptance. Number 2 is witness consciousness. Number 3 is breath. And as you do these things, you'll become way more successful in your life and business. And you will learn how to channel fear into faith and doubt into trust. And you'll be able to start activating these energies and bringing more joy and success and fulfillment into your life and business. You are a multi-dimensional entrepreneur. You are not just your 5 senses. You are also thought, word, and feeling. And Bob taught me this in Mastery Systems, that every human being, every entrepreneur is 3 vectors of thoughts, words, and feelings. And as these things come together, manifestation of your business begin. So if your thinking is right, but your feeling is not right, and your feeling doesn't follow that goal of $100,000 or $200,000, or if your feeling doesn't follow your attention, let's come into alignment with the emotional scale of harmonics. Let's look at awareness and bring these 3 vectors like a laser into our life and business. Thought plus word plus feeling equals manifestation. So creation is like a cup. Thought is the container, and emotion is the water that fills the cup. Can you be successful without passion? Can you be successful without emotion? No, it's the water, guys, that fills the cup of your business. Define your dream and cultivate a burning desire for its achievement. See how practical this stuff is. Thought plus emotion plus word equals your reality. Are you passionate enough right now in your business? Have you defined your vision? Are you working with a mentor, system, and community? Are you getting fired up in your morning practices before you do your lead generation? Because we want to take that energy of our morning practice, of our vision, of our desire, of our purposes, and we want to translate that into every call, every connection, every person we talk with in our business. Like my mentor, Kevin, says, when you're on fire, everyone will come around to watch you burn. Are you passionate enough? Because the water is what fills that cup. So the basics of emotional and scale harmonics, the emotional intelligence is the ability to identify and express your emotions in any environment or circumstance. We're all learning in this area. So first you become emotionally intelligent by learning the scale, understanding where you are on the scale. Then you develop emotional fitness. And emotional fitness is the experience and practice of feeling all your feelings on the emotional scale with love, power, and acceptance. And this may be a little bit more challenging for steel geniuses than blaze geniuses. If you're blaze, you got your heart on your shirt. You know, we know exactly how you feel, blaze geniuses, because you're extrovert, you know, you're full of emotion. But the steels may have to work and practice emotional fitness And yet we all choose from our feelings. No matter how much of an engineer or how much of an extrovert you are, 80% of our choices are made from how we feel. And that's been proven scientifically through the limbic brain and the amygdala. And that's a whole other class. I'll talk about that later. So many people don't know this about Arttemis, but 10 years ago, I began practicing 20 years ago, 15 years ago, I began practicing the martial arts. And I was, I developed a black belt level of skill in Jushinkai, Aikido, Jodo, and Kendo. And for every day, 7 days a week for 3 years, I studied and practiced the martial arts, Aikido. Any of you have seen Steven Seagal movies, and you see Steven Seagal doing his martial art, he's a 6th dan in Aikido. And those were real techniques. That wasn't, those stuntmen were his budokas. Those were his people who trained with him. And I developed emotional fitness in the dojo. If you look at a black belt, he has an intense focus. When he's out on the mat and he's teaching and he's got 6 people attacking him, he's extremely more emotionally fit than all the other white belts. And so how do we build emotional fitness in our life and business? Vigorous fitness, or take a martial art. So you need to be in the gym, and you need to be working out. You need to be pushing your body a little bit each week, 3 days a week. You'll become more emotionally fit, and power in the breath, power in the body translates to success in your life and business through this thing we call emotional fitness. Emotional alchemy. Now, this is something you will learn usually by coaching. This is not intuitive. Emotional alchemy is your emotional intelligence and fitness to transform any suppressed emotion into motion through love, acceptance, and forgiveness. Examples of this is taking fear and transforming it into faith, grief into joy, anger into loving actions. So why do I say coaching is required? Because a lot of us can't see our blind spots. We don't know we have blocks. And so what do? We plug into a mentor, a system, and community. We create accountability, and we grow through those blocks. You don't need to know all this mystical shit that Arttemis knows. Just go get an accountability partner, and you will become emotionally intelligent and emotionally fit. I mean, seriously, guys, like this is so simple, even though it's also very mystical. It's very simple. Accountability, coaching helps you grow, and you'll experience emotional intelligence and fitness if you follow units number 1, 2, and 3 in our Facebook group. So here's the scale of emotions. Let's break it down. The bottom of the scale is unconsciousness, and then we move from unconsciousness to apathy, apathy to grief, grief to fear, fear to anger, anger to pain, and pain to enthusiasm. There's 7 levels of emotions. Now, there's many other emotions we will experience outside of this scale, but this is a primary fundamental system, a simple way of understanding how we grow in our life and business. So unconsciousness is, I don't know what I don't know. It's also confusion. So a lot of us, we do the same things over and over again in our life, expecting new and different results. That's what we call unconsciousness, or from your wishes, your command, it's unconsciously incompetent. I don't know what I don't know. And then we want to make a change in our life and business, and all of a sudden it gets hard. And we experience apathy. Apathy is common. Apathy are those people who have become a worker for 20 years and they're drifting. And don't worry, I got solutions for that at the end of class. And then after apathy, when we touch apathy with love, we enter grief. How many are excited now? How many are excited to feel your grief and cry a little bit like a little boy? And grief is the one level of the scale of emotions that translates into word patterns. So when you hear yourself saying, I'm always failing, I'm always trying to do this, Arttemis, I've never been able to do that. When you hear the words always and never, that's an unconscious pattern of grief that you need to touch, feel, and let go. And that's where the book Letting Go is helpful. Don't resist the technique. I can feel my feelings. I can love what I feel. Feel the grief until it runs its course. Let it go. Now, after grief, let me say a little something about grief, because grief is interesting when it comes to alcoholism and diabetes. Alcoholism is grief. People who are doing alcohol, they don't want to feel their feelings. So they're using alcohol to numb their grief. As they start to touch their grief into their joy, as they start to heal their grief into their purpose, they don't have time for drinking anymore because they're too busy being happy and on purpose. Diabetes is not enough sweetness in your life. So when we haven't healed our grief, we go to sugar, refined sugar, not fruits, because fruits are the joy of God made manifest through flowers. So I'm not talking about fruit sugar. Fruits are, if you eat more fruit, you will be happier. I'm talking about refined sugars. Refined sugars, people who overconsume carbohydrates, they're in grief or apathy, and they don't know it. And this is where food also correlates to consciousness. And then after grief, when we touch our grief with love, and we enter fear. Now, fear is healthy. All these emotions are healthy, by the way. We all get to experience and feel these. And then after fear, fear is like, what if, what if, what if? Oh my God, I'm running out of money. What do I do? What if, what if? Fear transforms into faith. And then after we become, the next level is anger. How many of you love to feel your anger? Type it in the chat. Anger. Anger is a powerful emotion. Anger gets us out of the victim state. Like, oh man, COVID-19 took away all my business. I'm pissed. COVID-19 is just messing up my real estate business. Get angry. Feel the anger. Dr. Hawkins would say, are you feeling anger? Well, you're probably not angry enough. Now, you don't have to take out your anger on people. Be emotionally intelligent. Go out and find a punching bag. Go get in the gym and work through that. Anger transforms into loving actions and authority. And then there's pain and enthusiasm. Now, there's two other emotions to mention outside the scale, and those are shame and guilt. Shame is feeling unworthy to have, be, or do, and guilt is a deep sense of invalidation of oneself. These are not natural to the human condition. Shame and guilt are what we call addictive behavior patterns. These emotions are only healed by accessing divine love and fulfilling your divine destiny. So yes, some of you may be healing shame and guilt in your life and business and plugging into a mentor, a system, and community. Someone like Knolly and I, we will ignite the fire of your destiny by helping you become successful. And in the walking the path of discovering your divine destiny, God will touch you and heal your shame and guilt. I, as a healer, cannot heal your shame and guilt. No human can. Only God can heal this. I can heal all these feelings. I can create the tools and the technologies, and I have everything in my tool belt to help you move through all these emotions with ease. But these two, I do not touch. God is the one who heals these, and you need to understand that distinction, that if you don't know who you are and why you're here, what is your passion in your real estate business? What is your purpose to become successful? And know that the flame of God's love, by accessing that divine love through discovering your divine destiny, you will heal these patterns. And this is where it becomes deeply mystical. Not everyone has these patterns. You'll notice that some people just are proud of themselves and confident. They were raised in a family, their mom and dad gave them their needs met, and they were loved, and they came in extremely extrovert, and they just go out and crush it in this world. Some people just go out and crush it. Other people, though, are held back by shame and guilt. And you will need to discover your purpose and your passion, and it will literally burn this up. God will burn these feelings up in you. I had shame in my life for 33 years until I discovered my divine destiny. And it literally burned up in me. And you can feel it now in my voice. You can feel why I'm here teaching this stuff, because it's powerful stuff when you discover your divine destiny and purpose. And that's what brand identity is all about. Like, I'm going back to my previous trainings. When you build your brand and you rise up into a player and you have a passion, purpose, and niche, you start to burn up anything that doesn't belong there in your emotional body. So a lot of these very practical things I teach in wealth dynamics are highly transformative of our emotions. Master Keynote affirmation for transformation and letting go. I can feel my feelings. I can love what I feel. If that's all you do for the next 7 days, if you just say these words out loud while touching your heart as your sensory organ. Someone asked, like, what can I do that's simple? This is what you do that's simple. You just practice this, especially when you feel stuck or you feel tension in your gut or when you don't want to do it. The best time to do this is when you don't want to do it. Oh, I love life. I love my feelings. I love feeling my feelings, but it wasn't always that way, guys. Like, I practice this stuff. You will practice this stuff. You know, when you start feeling anger and getting pissed, and you're a friend of your anger, yeah, that anger is good. It motivates you. It gets you into action. Anger is healthy. It gets you out of victim, and you will feel it, and you will love it, and then you will take loving actions. So unconsciousness becomes awareness. Apathy becomes caring and commitment. Grief becomes joy. Fear becomes faith. Anger becomes authority. Pain transforms into ease. And then enthusiasm is love, spirit, and peak states of consciousness, which is discovering your divine destiny and living your divine destiny. Imagine living every day in a peak state of consciousness. And then dropping down scale and feeling fear. Oh, got some stuff to clean up there. Let's get back to my enthusiasm. Let's identify where I'm in fear. Okay, fear becomes faith. Okay, faith in what? Faith in myself, faith in God, faith in my team, faith in my vision. Okay, now I feel angry. Okay, anger about what? Name it. Okay, anger becomes authority. I'm going to author my life. How and what loving actions can I take today that's going to transform this anger into my authority? So every emotion transforms into motion through understanding what it turns into. And this is what the scale of emotions turns into. And self-acceptance, witness consciousness, and breath are all required. Now, the emotional scale of harmonics has octaves. Now, this is where I get to go a little cosmic and deeper, is because how many of you have forgiven people and then hate and resentment shows up again? Have you noticed that? Yeah. Ken's raising his hand. It's like, yeah, I thought I forgave that person. Why am I feeling this way again? Because as you go up scale, you go from unconsciousness, apathy, grief, fear, anger, pain, enthusiasm to the next octave above it of unconsciousness, apathy, grief, fear, anger, pain, enthusiasm to the next octave above that of unconsciousness. So sometimes you heal anger or fear at a certain level, and then every level has its devil. So as you're moving up the lighthouse, as you're growing from orange to yellow and yellow to green, there are other emotions to heal and transform, because the scale of emotions is not one octave, it's 7 octaves. And sometimes you will experience 7 levels of fear at one level of the lighthouse. That's okay. Sometimes you'll experience 3 levels of fear and touch it and transform it. And everyone is unique as they move up scale. We are all like a fingerprint of God. We're all moving up scale. And just know that it's a journey, guys. Become emotionally intelligent. Feel your feelings. Love it. Keep moving up scale. God is with you. God is for you in your vision. God is for you in your destiny. So have you been drifting in your life and business? How many of y'all watch Pinky and the Brain? I know that's dating me a little bit. But, you know, Pinky was like the little white lab mouse who wanted to like try and take over the world. Pinky had grit. I mean, the brain had grit. He had will. He was angry, but he was also authoring his life. You know, he had purpose. He was trying to take over the world. But how many of you may be experiencing apathy or struggling in relationships or lacking purpose or passion? Or are you living in confusion and feeling lost at times? This is apathy, guys. When I met Knolly 5 years ago, this is where Knolly was in his life and business. And what did I do? Put him on a raw food diet, took him through 2 years of emotional healing, and now he's on fire. Look at him go. Look at him go, guys. And I love that we get to give this to all our realtors now, because Knolly got it first. You know, Knolly and I wouldn't be here doing this stuff with you all if we didn't do it, you know, 125%. Like, we're in the game. We're all doing this together. It takes a tribe. And so apathy is one of the biggest blocks to our success, is apathy and fear. When you touch apathy with entheos, enthusiasm, it becomes caring and commitment. What are your passions in your business? How many go, I have heard that somewhere before. Arttemis has told me that somewhere before. I remember that. What are your passions? Revelation 3:16, if you are lukewarm, God says, I will spit you out of my mouth. So if you want to get through these patterns here of struggling in relationships and lacking purpose and living in confusion, drifting, feeling lost, guess what? You're going to get on fire with your passions. You're going to learn how to translate those passions into your brand identity and then bring those passions and brand into video and audio and activities that bring enthusiasm into your life and business. So apathy is easily corrected by just connecting to your passions and then being able to translate those passions up the emotional scale of harmonics. And after apathy is what? Grief. After grief is what? Fear. So as you're bringing your passions into your business and doing a couple of videos and rebranding yourself and then launching out into your new successful business plan and promotion plans, you're going to go and you're going to be drawing from your passions, your purpose, your vision. The second thing that holds us back in success is fear. When you touch fear with love, it becomes faith. Hebrews, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things unseen. The substance is the chemistry, it's the feeling. The evidence is the vision of your life and business. So there's very real practical tools, guys, I'm giving you to move up scale in the emotional scale of harmonics in your business. One is transform apathy into caring through passion. The other is to transform fear into faith through vision. The victorious path to healing all fear at all times is to define your dream and cultivate a burning desire for its achievement. This is my vision board. I built this during COVID-19. It's like, fuck it, I'm not giving in to Lucifer and all this fear on the planet. I'm going to define my vision. I'm going to get into my outcome, my vision, build a freaking vision board and go for it. How many of you have built a vision board? Well, let's build another one. How many of you already built a vision board? Build a new one. How many of you have a marketing dream board that Arttemis told you to build and look at every day? Add some images to it. The victorious path to healing all fear at all, you are gonna feel fear. I promise you, you're gonna feel fear before you film that video or launch that next business project or go into the next promotion plan. It's okay to feel fear. Define your vision and then cultivate a burning desire for its achievement. Napoleon Hill. Be pulled by your vision, not pushed by your problems. Fear is there just to keep you safe, guys. It doesn't have to control you. Create a vision board. Look at it every day. Speak your affirmations out loud every day. Get fired up. And your fear will be transformed by faith, by vision. Now, I'm fired up. I'm really fired up now. Thunder's happening, lightning and rain and all kinds of cool stuff's happening right now in Austin. And no coincidence it's raining right now because water represents our emotional body. Water's feeling. And as we move up the scale of emotions, understand where you are on the scale. And then now that you have the scale, what does this turn into? That's the first step, self-acceptance, self-awareness. And then the major practical thing you can do is I can feel my feelings, I can love what I feel. And start letting go. And Mina knows what I'm talking about. Knolly knows what I'm talking about. Ken knows what I'm talking about. Like some people have been in this work going, and the challenging thing about emotions is that they are a subtle energy. And we can't see them, we can't, touch them unless we're feeling it in our body. And they're not easy to quantify scientifically yet. The Russians are actually doing a great job quantifying emotional intelligence through something called GDV, gas discharge visualization. The Russians and Europeans are about 30 years ahead of us in understanding these energies. But for most of us, like, Arttemis, why would I even want to try this stuff? How is it going to help me in my life and business? Just trust me, just do it. You're not going to see the effect right away, but keep moving up scale in the emotional scale of harmonics. And then eventually, 1 week down the road, 2 months down the road, 3 months down the road, a miracle will happen. Miracles are higher laws. How do we access miracles? Through the emotional scale of harmonics. How do we access miracles in our life and business? Is through moving up scale and removing the blocks that are getting in the way. So one of the problems of the mind, of the intellect, when you start doing this stuff, is that you're not going to see the results right away. So you might give up too soon. And that's why it's good to go back and watch this video again 2 more times. Remember, repetition is the rhythm of mastery. Repetition is the mother of perfection. And then to know and not to do is not to know. So use the affirmations. You know, when you start feeling tension in your solar plexus or tension in your chest, or you start feeling heaviness in your neck and shoulders, you might got some emotions in there. Let's feel them. Let's breathe for about 5 minutes and just wait until the tension subsides, you know, and just process and let it go. And be consistent in the practice of learning the emotional scale and then moving up scale. And then with practice, miracles upon miracles, wonders never cease, because all of your expectations shall become for the highest and best good of all. And so I encourage you to practice this stuff. Use it in your morning practice. Start the day with hydration, movement, and emotional intelligence. And then just go about your day doing your lead gen in your business. But just make sure that a little bit of time each day is invested in some of what I've given you today, and build that foundation. And then you can grow from this foundation into great success, joy, and happiness. Because I was born in a broken family with a father who was a con artist who died in the penitentiary. And now I'm an entrepreneur with 5 streams of income. I'm respected in my community. And I have thousands and thousands of people who know, like, and trust me. And I came from extreme fear, extreme pain. And I did it. And I am doing it. That's the paradox. I did it, but I'm still doing it. I'm still in the game, guys. I'm still learning this stuff. And I have the benefit also of being a teacher and teaching this stuff, which helps me learn it 10 times faster. So other references and resources about this conversation: conscious language, the logos of now, letting go, and also feel free to prosper. The most powerful explanation of the subconscious mind and its simplicity is in this book, related to your connection to money and source and supply. So you get to know that God is your source of money, not your business. You know, get to know that your words have power. Get in the driver's seat of your life and business. Become emotionally intelligent. Build a vision board. You know, plug into Knolly Success Coaching every week, and let's build a community of conscious entrepreneurs where we're willing to be transparent. We're willing to feel our feelings. We're willing to talk about our emotions when it's appropriate. It's not appropriate in every environment, but, like, you know, there will be opportunities for us to gather and do this work in real time, and there are opportunities for you just to be with you and do it on your own. And the leaders are readers. So that's why do I give you references and resources? Is because we need this stuff in our ears. You know, we need to be listening to Feel Free to Prosper a couple of times every year until it becomes unconsciously competent. You know, we need to practice affirmations for a year until it becomes unconsciously competent. We need to decree a thing, and it shall be established unto us, and thy light shall shine upon thy ways. We need to practice this stuff with word and light and repetition and rhythm and deep feeling until it becomes us. And these books reinforce that, like audios every day, books every day, stuff like that. So thank you guys for coming today.
Good stuff, Arttemis. This is you know, I'm always a little bit apprehensive to teach the deeper things, but this is the stuff that has taken us to, people always wonder, what's the secret sauce? And it really is, I mean, we've spent so many years becoming dumb and becoming numb, and don't expect that you're going to get this overnight. I mean, I've read Letting Go 5, 6 times. I've read The Power of Your Subconscious Mind 5 or 6 times. I've listened to every single thing that I can get from Dr. Murphy. I'm on the 3rd read of this book right here. I mean, this is, hey, why not, man? This is a lifelong commitment that we've made to become our ultimate greatness. So don't feel frustrated if you're not getting these concepts right away. No big deal. Just begin, because remember this, Arttemis, what they want us to believe is they want to keep us numb and dumb. They don't want us to know the truth. So thank you for bringing truth, brother.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Like, this is where the rubber meets the road for a lot of us, you know, in the Knolly Success Coaching Group, and it's very deep and profound stuff. But, you know, if I was just to hold, do you want me to hold back? No, I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to give you the truth. I'm going to give you the truth as I've experienced it. and I'm going to give you the resources and references for you to go experience it yourself. And let's all become millionaires and billionaires together and transform our communities.
Absolutely.
You know, and let's do this. I'm excited. I'm excited to like stay in the game with all of you. And I just happen to be putting on my teacher's hat today, and jump in, like have fun with this information. It's profound. It's a wonderful path, emotional intelligence.
For those of you in our mentorship masters, we meet in 1 hour. So you got a 1 hour recess. You can go grab a snack, take lunch, whatever you got to do. And then we're going to be talking about the 12 steps to success in mentorship masters. I've got a
I'm excited about that class. The 12 steps to success, not the 12-step program.
Yeah, you've been asking me to put this together for literally 6 months. And it is a step-by-step system that we put together in the Mentorship Masters portal. So when you join, you start here, then you go to this step, then this step. By the time you're at the 12th step, you're a master. You're a 6 or 7 figure master. Woo!
Woo! All right, guys. See you next Thursday.
All right, see you next time, guys. Love y'all.